after an almost 8-hour flight, we landed in Sydney. This was my first time in Australia, and I finally got to see my cousin's second home.
Yan tinuro yung balloon. Tapos tumingin.
Gusto mong balloon?
Nakala ko may... Naghahanap ako ng maraming balloon eh.
What? Hello, it's your family.
Our home for the week would be Mascot, a suburb best known for being right beside the Sydney airport. Convenient for travelers, and very convenient for 11 hungry Filipinos. First stop, food. No matter what country we're in, our itinerary usually starts with the same question. Where are we eating?
Kulong ka na.
For lunch, we headed to the grounds of Alexandria. What used to be a pie factory has become one of Sydney's most famous dining and event spaces. Guys, just a heads up though, if you want to enjoy your time in Australia in general, do not convert to peso. I repeat, do not convert. The space was honestly beautiful, and we got to see the Vincent van Gogh exhibit just before they changed for another season. Before settling into our Airbnb, we made one very important stop.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Australian Meat Emporium. When you're traveling with people who love cooking, groceries become a tourist attraction too. And boy, was everyone excited!
So huge.
Kinakain ni Kala. Hindi. So mahal.
Even Jerry got excited seeing our excited faces.
Charlie!
And we were able to buy meats to cook when we were just having dinner at our B&B.
Si Kala!
That night, we just decided to chill at home and catch up with everyone. Mike and Jerry prepped a delicious Korean BBQ feast, complete with really good tteokbokki.
Tteokbokki!
Nilagyan ko ng rice after na.
And what a great way to end our first night down under. One thing I loved about Sydney was how active everyone seemed to be. There's always someone running, someone working out at the park. Even at sunrise, the city already felt awake. And as it should, I really judge those coffee shops back in Manila that don't open until 9 or 11 a.m.
Pero may puno.
The next train to arrive on platform 2 goes to the Greenfield via Airport Station.
What's the chance to see into the city? That's me.
Our first real sightseeing stop was Circular Quay.
Every time we have a shower,
This is essentially Sydney's front door. Ferries, trains, a stunning bridge, performers, and of course, one very famous opera house.
Ano sabi mo?
It was an office day, so we planned our timing to end up at the port just in time for Jerry to catch up with us and take the ferry to Mandy. Just have to say, Sydney's ferries aren't just commute rides. They're sightseeing cruises disguised as public transport. Ah, so beautiful.
Sarap yung salmon nila.
Same tayo ng ginawa.
Ah!
We grabbed fish and chips from Manly Seafoods, which is kind of touristy but famous for good reason.
Pilahan dito. Namin yung Vietnamese coffee eh. Kaya nga.
We ate our fried food on a bench overlooking the water.
Kung yung lemon yung erase mo.
Ayan, chicken hot. Sarap.
Pwede ba?
Back home, I'm used to swatting flies, but over here, I be swatting seagulls.
Octopussy.
Octopus lang.
Ay, sorry.
And they really look you in the eye.
Oo nga.
We walked over to Shelly Beach, Jerry's favorite beach. It was quieter, more local and relaxed. We spent almost the rest of the afternoon here.
Hindi ilalagay mo.
Even trying out the water.
Kaya, sarap.
Ice cold, of course, but perfect for tired feet.
Lubos na snake. Look, may mga nagawa ko. May mga nagawa ko sa taas.
By sunset, we were back at Circular Quay. The city lights reflected off the harbor. Such a pretty place.
Sure.
The group decided to do separate things, so SJ and I walked around the rock just to see what's around. It's supposed to be famous for its colonial architecture, but sadly we couldn't appreciate it as much at this time. SJ was suddenly craving for shawarma. So after a little Google search, we saw Open Sesame over at George Street. One thing about Middle Eastern food here in Australia is that the serving size is huge. Every wrap we ordered thereafter was big enough to share. And it's delicious. Excellent Australian meat plus Middle Eastern flavors. Ugh. Exceptional.
Yeah, pagod na.
It started to rain as we were headed back to the metro. We decided to wait it out in this gelato shop.
First is the milk chocolate with peanut fudge, and then white chocolate sugar. For you?
And that ends day 2. We started early with another jog around Mascot, and of course, some delicious breakfast. Mike suggested we try Burke Street Bakery. It was delicious and warm. I really loved my mocha, and SJ's meat pie was also satisfying. What a nice little shop to have just around the corner.
Makes me stay in bed a little longer to hear you breathing.
The group headed out to the city.
Long for those quiet days when the hours drift away. Petals fall on the window pane as the clouds float
I'm so glad we started that jog because it was going to be an epic seafood feast at the famous Sydney Fish Market. This is their newly opened building, and we were amazed. The Sydney Seafood Market is one of the largest fish markets in the Southern Hemisphere.
X large. How much? Yun yung job niya.
And it's where I finally tried Alaskan pink crab legs.
Thank you.
A dream come true. And lobster too. Although the lobster was just alright.
What's that?
Tuna avocado.
Our wallets are still recovering, but was it worth a try? Definitely. Although, see you again maybe in the next 10 years.
Balik ako sa fresh. Kaya bake na lang kinakain ko.
Takot na ba pag dapat may napunta yung ganyan.
We were over at Paddy's to have some coffee and dessert.
Kunan mo from here. Wow, it's a
And
chocolate
at this
drink.
point, I had unknowingly started a personal search for the perfect iced latte. Strong, mildly creamy, and mildly sweet too.
nga ng saltiness. Sakto, ikaw pa yung kumain.
After Paddy's, we walked all the way over to Barangaroo, a waterfront precinct famous for its transformation from shipping dock to a dynamic hub. Also, don't you just love saying the name Barangaroo? Barangaroo? Barangaroo!
My muse. I'm sorry. Ginamit. My soft lunch.
Walking wasn't done. We headed over to the rocks and into Spice Alley. A tiny laneway turned into an Asian street. Everybody here was hungry and enjoying all the different Southeast Asian flavors.
Inom ka para sabay.
Day 4 wasn't really about sightseeing, it was about celebrating our little Cathedral. Friends, family, co-workers, in-laws, so many people gathered to celebrate one tiny human who probably won't remember any of this. Good thing Nina is with us.
We ordered a burger.
One thing I noticed throughout this trip was how much community Mike and Jerry have built. Being far from home isn't easy, but seeing everyone showing up for gala reminded me that home can be built anywhere.
Sa plancha.
We did a little shopping at the nearest home goods depot before going to a cafe near our B&B. Then back at our place, the boys once again took over the kitchen.
Matabunan ko yun.
Dito ka po. Ganyan.
Dito ka wag.
Steak, adobo, lamb sausages. With no greens, guys.
Manu.
It was another perfect end to a very nice day. Day 5 and it's Gala's baptism day. Before the ceremony, SG and I had a few hours to explore, which naturally turned into a cafe crawl. Single O served what might have been my favorite coffee in all of Sydney. Their banana cold brew was ridiculously good.
This is the time we try to emulate our
And the banana bread espresso butter. I never expected banana bread to give me an existential crisis, but here we are. One bite and it felt like I'd been eating inferior banana bread my entire life. It was like someone hit the reset button on my taste buds and introduced me to banana bread for the very first time. Blue pill? And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, there was this crispy, caramelized layer on the outside that added the perfect crunch. Suddenly, regular banana bread wasn't enough anymore.
banana bread.
Yeah.
And
The espresso butter.
yeah, avocado tastes like the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Can I get a small?
We picked up pastries and spent the morning wandering through parks and city streets. No plans, no rush. Just enjoying Sydney one block at a time. We walked over to the Royal Botanic Garden and spent a good amount of time wandering around.
Plant clinic.
Yeah.
Leaving all my worries, I prepare for something new. Whatever it was that held me back, I'm sure it wasn't true. Holding on to
We were so surprised to see the
some
speckle
questions
of
hold me
cockatoos.
down. What could have been a friendly smile has
I've never seen
turned
so
into a
many,
frown.
and so
I'm
free.
moving on and on.
Then we found this empty bench where we devoured our pastries.
Break bread.
I'm driving in my car, the road is long and full of dust. The landscape changes around me, on and on, I feel I'm lost. Whatever happened to me, happened for my highest good. I read that in so many books, now it's almost understood. I'm moving on and on. On and on. I'm moving on This is my location, sweet as well, my destination. If you're looking to begin, then look no further than within. I'm satisfied with what I've got and still eager for more. The change that you've been looking for will come knock on your door.
We met with some of the fam at Terrace on the Domain. Had some quick pickup coffees before heading to St. Mary's Cathedral.
Yung station after lang ng Central yun. Layo ka lang.
When it was finally time for the baptism, I put the camera away. Kalas Ninang, this was a moment that I wanted to experience fully. We finished the evening with a walk around the harbour and watched the opera house glow in the distance.
Hindi kayo worried sa lamig mamaya. Sinabi ba gano'ng kalamig? Mag-swim? Mag-swim siya? Oh my God. Tawag.
Wetsuit? Dahil siya wetsuit.
For the experience na ba? Dala sa baka. Okay. Ay, enjoy.
Ang plato mo. Hindi ko nga yung last bite ko. Ang dami pati yung rice. Giubos niya.
Ay, ka.
Ask a local for one Sydney walk to do, and there's a good chance they'll mention the Coogee to Bondi coast. So we took the bus from Mascot to Coogee.
Crescent moon has taken itself far away to lay down. One more lazy dream. I can't sleep. They used to cut.
Nearly 6 kilometers of cliffs, beaches, ocean views, and stairs. I knew our feet were going to be tired, but it was definitely worth seeing all these famous views.
Ako nanghihin ng lotion siya kanina.
Pani lagi kayo.
The weather was drizzly, the wind was cold, so finding this coffee truck along the route felt less like a convenience and more like a divine intervention. We crossed a lot of people, either alone, with other people, or the dogs. Like I said, people here are very active. We even saw a cemetery overlooking the view, and if I were dead, I'd love to have this view. finally, Bondi. Bondi Beach is probably Australia's most famous beach, but what surprised me was how normal it felt. People swimming, surfers catching waves, locals walking dogs. This was their everyday life. How lucky.
Dito lang.
I bet that tastes good.
Tapos, magka-drink.
Bakit may snatch na nangyayari? Or Victoria's Basement?
Ano yan?
Nagatingin si Kala, oh.
Thank you.
Ubusin mo na, ubusin mo na.
The group parted ways after lunch, and SJ and I walked around the town a bit more, going into cute little local shops. Then we wrapped up our Bondi afternoon at Bill's. I ordered this delicious drink. While SJ ordered panta. And guys, he refused to share.
Ba? As in?
Then we headed home to spend the rest of the evening relaxing. Me sorting my files, and SJ watching the latest Philippine news. Now that's how you ruin a perfect day. On our final full day, we traded city views for mountain trails. Welcome to Blue Mountains. We even hiked with Barangaroo. We did the Grand Canyon track, and it was one of Blue Mountain's best trails.
Wow!
Cal spent most of her hike riding first class on it, which some of us must have envied at some point during our trek.
Hello!
After 6 hours of hiking, we finally finished the Blue Mountain Grand Canyon track. I'm so proud of us, fam. What an accomplishment.
Inalog. Stretch.
Ay, hello. Ay, sus.
Sino yung pinakapagod?
That evening, we gathered one last time around the B&B, sharing delicious Thai food and beef brisket made lovingly. We shared stories and precious moments with Kala Pearl and trying not to think about packing. We came to Sydney for a birthday and a baptism, but somewhere between ferry rides, fish markets, coastal walks, family dinners, and way too many coffees, Sydney with his family has become a milestone. And while Kala probably won't remember any of this trip, one day she'll have this video, a reminder that people traveled across oceans just to celebrate her, and that for 1 week in May, she brought all of us together. Until next time, Sydney. See you guys in Melbourne. Melbourne. Barangaroo.